All right, how you guys doing today? About to hop into a little review, part 3 of the Proverbs 17 review. The first things first, though, just make sure you like that video, hit a like, it's in full screen, scroll a bit, like it, and then full screen back up. You feel me? So we ended off verse 16, right? You can't be getting wisdom if you don't have the heart for it. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. And he said this verse is talking about a true friend, and that a true friend sticks around through whatever is going on in your life, right? That's a true friend. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, dang, do I have any true friends? Where are my true friends at? But really, we should be thinking, am I a true friend? Because Jesus is our true friend. You got a friend in me. He is saying to us because he loves us at all times, right? He can't deny us because he can't deny himself. But a brother is born for adversity. And he didn't actually elaborate on what this means, but we'll check it out. Look at this little thing from the thing. That the divine Messiah would by its incarnation become the brother of man. Not the son of man, the brother of man. That's kind of funny. But it says that a brother is born for adversity. A true brother here is in a sense beyond literal blood relation will show himself in a time for adversity, right? Because there's a friend and then there's a person you would call a brother, right? Because now we have our brothers and sisters in Christ that we're joined together by something much bigger and better than blood, right? And that comes by the way of we all sharing the same sacrifice and have the same inheritance. We all care for each other on this deeper level, meaning that, yeah, there's a friend and he'll love you at all times, right? He'll be there for you when you're down. But a brother gonna stick with you when you're down. Friend may pop by, check on how you doing and all that stuff, but a brother, he gonna ride with you when you down. Trust that. A man lacking understanding strikes hands and becomes surety in the presence of his friend. And let's check that in another translation. Lacking common sense gives a pledge and becomes a guarantor the debt of another presence in his neighbor's portrait to guarantee another. Okay, yeah. So it's just an observation that Solomon says. Poor judgment to guarantee another person's debt. Put up security for your friend. But we talked about this in a previous chapter somewhere, that it's really just if you don't have the money to go through with it. If it's like, well, if they default, is this gonna ruin you? Like, if they don't pay, are you screwed? Like, if you got the extra money to do so and they can default, but like you don't tell them, yeah, you can default because I got it like that. At that point, you should just give them the money, right? But if you put up the security hoping that they'll pay it, and if they don't, it won't financially ruin you, but you're doing it because you're a brother born for adversity or a friend loving at some downtime, right? If you're doing it for that reason, then it's okay, but you just can't ruin it, right? It's just a poor decision if it's gonna ruin you. He that loves transgression, right? He that sins willfully loves strife, and he that exalts his gate seeks destruction. And he mentioned how there wasn't much to this idea of exalting your gate. It's kind of like a figure of speech. Like today we would say, oh, drowning in a sea of grief, happy as a clam, stuff like that, that we don't really even know what it means, but we know what it means because we hear people saying, and you're like, oh, you're as happy as a clam. And so you must, logically deduce that a clam is happy and very happy at that. So you're just kind of like, you know, I guess. But he said he saw a lot of guesses on what this could mean, and it's basically just saying like if you provoke another person to anger, it's gonna bring destruction. Before I check this commentary, I'm gonna say my guess was that it's like you're exalting your gate, you're putting your gate higher, right? AKA, you may put it too high than what you actually need, right? You may say, I need all these resources when really you don't need all these resources. And what you're kind of doing is one, you're either being greedy if you're taking resources, or two, which I think is more likely in this case, you're exalting your gate, you're making it taller, you're making yourself seem bigger than you are. And in a literal sense, you put your gate higher, it's assumed that you're a taller person or importing taller goods. We've all seen those tunnels that's like clearance 11 feet, clearance 12 feet. You put the clearance up 26 feet, you think you got 26 feet tall trucks coming in with cargo that big? No. Put your gate back down and stop spending excess money making yourself trying to seem bigger than you really is what it goes to in my mind. And this says, a man who builds his high gate exalts himself above his neighbor and assumes a lifestyle beyond his rank. Boom. Possibly the gate here is taken for mouth, exalting of the gate, made proud, boasting, and arrogant speaking, tendency to kindle and maintain strife. This interpretation seems to agree better with the scope of the context, right? Those who exalt the leadership of those who love transgression and strife are promoting destruction. Such people should never sit at the gate of respective leader and authority. Boom. Pretty self-explanatory. Almost like I said it. I got great, pretty good discernment right there, Holy Spirit. Anyway. He that has a froward heart finds no good. He that has a perverse tongue falls into mischief. Right? If your heart is seeking out bad things, have you ever been one of those people that's just like, everything bad seems to be happening to me? I can't stand that, bro. There's always something good. There's always some positive side to what's going on. right? Even when it's God's literally burning you, right? The beginning of this chapter where it's like the crucible and the furnace for gold and silver, right? Even in all the times where God's burning that out of you, is still bringing good in your heart. It's bringing something that's good to you. You may not see what it is, but at the least you could say, I'm trusting God that is bringing something good, because he wouldn't just have it done for no reason, right? Everything's according to his plan at the end of the day. So if you have a forward heart, you're not going to find that good, but we should be looking towards that good and make ourselves humble. He that has a perverse tongue is just going to fall into mischief. True that. He that begets a fool doeth it to his sorrow, and the father of a fool has no joy. And I just want to know what begetteth means in this. It is painful to be the parent of a fool who sires a fool. He who becomes a parent of a fool is spiritually blind and does so to his sorrow. Yeah, so like if you allow a fool, basically, if you allow a fool, you're going to do it to his sorrow. It's going to make you sad, but also him sad, because he's going to be a fool, right? Nothing good comes from that. But I will say we got some Proverbs coming off of fools, so maybe they got something good going after all. A merry heart does good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. And we can see this is a physiological thing. He said in the sermon that when you have a better heart, it's like medicine, right? There's all these studies that saying, oh, religious people, they're happier, better life expectancy, better life outcomes, all that type of stuff. You're married, you sleep better, your life is better, you're more happy, you live longer, all that type of stuff. But a broken spirit drieth your bones. It's going to kill you a little quicker. And what he said to this is his disappointment. And he said it many times, and if not all the time. The reason that we get disappointed because our expectations are unrealistic. Sometimes you could argue they're very realistic. It's just like other people let you down. But then I'd say in that case, right, we put our hope in Jesus. I would say not to put your faith or hope in man, and you won't be disappointed, right? I don't want to say try to do everything yourself, but in terms of do everything without the help of other people that you can, and just lean on Jesus to help you get through it. That's like the best thing I can tell you, right? It's better to not need anybody else but Jesus than it is to need a whole bunch of people, because you can't really depend on them the same way you can count on yourself and Jesus, right? A wicked man takes the gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment. I don't even know what. The wicked accepts a bribe in secret to pervert the ways of justice. We talked about bribes before. Don't do it. You get it. Wisdom is before him that has understanding, but the eyes of the fools are in the ends of the earth. I wonder what it means by in the ends of the earth. That's such a weird phrase. It says the fools don't see things with the eyes of wisdom. They have their eyes everywhere at the ends of the earth, except where they should be, right? Wisdom is in the sight and reach of every man that he desires scatters, but he whose desires are scattered abroad is always aiming at impossible things or unsteady disposition, and is not likely to find it. And actually, that makes sense in the context. Now that I'm looking back at it, right? Wisdom is in the sight, but the fools are looking way too far when it's right in your eye line, bruh. Anyway, a foolish son is his grief to his father, bitterness to her that bear him. Simple. Also, to punish the just is not good, nor to strike princes for equity. And I don't know what that means. If a leader is upright, he should never be punished, especially by striking. Uprightness shall be rewarded and not punished. Equity for fairness. Okay, I forgot. All right. He that has understanding spares his words. Talk less, do more. Talk less, hear more. And a man of understanding is an excellent spirit. Even a fool, when he holds his peace, is counted as wise, right? Fool, you don't speak, you're going to be seen as a peaceful guy, and is counted wise. Why? Because he's holding his words in, just like we see. If you got an understanding, you hold your words. And he that shuts his lips is esteemed of a man of understanding. So the man of understanding esteems somebody that holds their lips. These are phrased very strange. When he closes his lips, he's regarded as a sensible, prudent, discreet man of understanding, right? So basically, just talk less, hear more. There's a verse about that somewhere. We'll look it up real quick because we still got time in this video. James 1:19. Let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger, right? Quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. And this goes back to that phrase that we say, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We should hear twice as much as we speak. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. Regardless, though, the Bible is pretty clear on the fact that we should be quicker to listen than to speak. All right, that's going to be the end of the video. Hope you guys have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.